Christina Rule, and today we're going to do appetizers. Now what I'm going to do is just put a couple of tablespoons of oil into the skillet, give that a swirl and turn it up high. Come over here, going to grab my ground pork and going to put it into the skillet. Also, I have a good full teaspoon of 5-spice powder that's going to go into the pork. So, now the pork is really coming along quite nicely. I can smell that beautiful smell of the 5-spice powder already taking effect. I'm slicing up the mushrooms quite thinly. I've also peeled one red onion, medium size, and I'm going to thinly slice that. That's good. Like so. And it's a good time to also add the mushrooms. Give that all a quick stir. The cabbage, cut it in half. Now we're not going to use all of the cabbage. I think I'll go for this one. And start peeling the layers or leaves off the cabbage. Okay? Doesn't matter too much that the leaves get a little bit torn, because we're going to wrap this all up and you're not going to see all that. Now I've got a nice hot pot of water over here boiling already. I did that a little bit earlier. And into that we're going to blanch the cabbage leaves. Now try not to put too many at one time. So I'll say roughly about half a dozen cabbage leaves at this stage. I like to smash the garlic like so. Makes it easy. The skin just peels right off. And get these little hard bits off. You don't want that in the garlic. And we'll just want to slice it quite finely. And you know, this will just add so much of great flavor to the ground pork. So I'm going to mix that in quickly. The pork is just coming along so well, so delicious. See how it's oozing out a little bit of its oils. We got the garlic, the onions, the mushroom is wilted. Yeah. And in just about a minute or two, we can turn the stove off and that meat is done. Now, before I do that, of course I want to season it. So, I'm going to add a little bit of salt. I like to usually put that in the palm of my hand so I know how much of salt has gone in. Probably about a teaspoon of salt and some freshly ground pepper. About a teaspoon of that too. Because you really want a lot of the flavor happening with the meat. And the mushrooms and the onions and the garlic. I tell you, it's got a beautiful smell. Now, because this has an Asian twist to it, I'm going to add, I better measure this, grab a tablespoon of fish oil. Now you don't really need to add a lot of this because it has a very strong flavor. And it's also salty. So, and I'll turn that off. Now I'm going to check on the cabbage leaves over here. See how it's going. Come and get a closer look. Now in just a minute or two, the cabbage would be ready. I'm just going to show you how to get these wonton wrappers and the filling in them. Now remember, we blanched the cabbage. Now don't worry too much about the cabbage falling apart, because that's the whole idea. Now you're going to cut them in pieces and strips. You're going to take the hard vein, the middle piece. You don't want that. Now nothing's going to be wasted, because I've already been doing some while we've had a break. These hard pieces can be actually sliced in or diced up, and you can put that in your soup or, you know, a stir fry the following day. So you can actually refrigerate these, so nothing gets wasted. So I'll just show you how to wrap up these wonton wrappers using your fingers, of course, your hands. I've got just bits and pieces of cabbage that I've blanched, and using 2 teaspoons, I find that works best. I'm going to put a little bit of the filling, probably about a teaspoon and a bit, right into the center of the diagonal wonton wrapper. Now I'm going to tuck it in right into the center, and then folding the sides, I'm going to give it another roll. And I've got my egg wash here, just at the right at the tip, and there you go. I've got a nice wrap there. Now just a little something different that I wanted to do was roll that egg mixture that straight away into the panko crumbs. Now if you get some pieces that don't stick, you can add a little bit more of egg wash, don't worry about that. And that's ready to go into the fryer. In this case I have a wok with oil, and I find I really enjoy cooking in woks because it's got the depth and it just seems to cook really great dishes, especially when it comes to frying. While we've been having a break, I've been very busy, and I've made some for you already. Now look how pretty they've turned out. Now put some absorbent paper there so you can actually you know, drain off more of the oil. And look how pretty and delicious and appetizing that is. Okay? And we're going to make something a little bit different with the Philly cheese. Now I mentioned earlier I was using some plum sauce. You can use any kind of plum sauce that you want, but not plum jam. It's a plum sauce. You can get it in Asian grocery stores. So I've got about 5 tablespoons of plum sauce. So I'm going to pour that right over the Philly cream cheese. It's fairly thick. Now just spread it all over, and now I'm going to put about a full teaspoon of chili pieces. Just sprinkle that. Now you may think this is going to be really spicy, but it won't, because the Philly cream cheese, that is going to mellow the heat. So it's going to be just sensational. So I'm going to try these wonton cabbage parcels. They look good. You can see the panko crumbs, and it's just not like, you know, when you normally fry a wonton wrap, it's plain, but this is, you can see the panko crumbs in it. And I'm going to spoon a little bit of this yummy sauce with the chili and the Philly cream cheese and that salty plum sauce. I'm sure it's going to be, just add a little bit of that plum sauce to it. It's so thick, it's just absolutely beautiful. That's the only way to eat it. The thing that hits you instantly, plum sauce, that salty flavor, and the chili is very mild actually. You don't get too much of heat from the chili, and but definitely the lime gives it that tangy flavor. I'm going to have more of this, and I'll catch you later.